Well, the Obama administration's top intelligence official has a warning for America that senior Iranian leaders, perhaps as high up as the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, are now more willing to carry out attacks on U.S. soil. The Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, says that Iranian officials are reacting to perceived American threats against their country. His comments come as tensions between the U.S. and Iran are higher than it seems like they have been in decades. Joining us now, Chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, Congressman Peter King. Congressman King, thanks. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Let me just ask you what you read into this. Obviously, of course, this comes on the heels of the U.S. government saying last fall that that certain people in the Iranian government were trying to kill the ambassador of Saudi Arabia to the United States and American civilians in Washington, D.C.
Well, General Clapper is saying that the plot to kill the Saudi ambassador, to blow up the restaurant in Washington, that signaled an intention by Iran to cross what we call the red line and not carry out attacks in the United States. Since then, there's been other analysis by the CIA and other intelligence agencies, which caused General Clapper to believe that now the Iranians consider an attack upon the United States as something that's possible, that's plausible. In the past, it was something we believed they would not consider. Now, they do have forces, if not in place, certainly they have forces around the world, with Hezbollah, Quds Force, others, which we thought would be used in the event of a war. We didn't think they would launch an attack here first, but based on, again, the observations, the intelligence that's being picked up, General Clapper believes, and I agree with him, that Iran is now willing to consider launching an attack against the U.S. and would have the capability.
What kind of attack? I mean, is there any knowledge of what sorts of attacks they're considering? I mean, are these terrorist attacks bombing on a subway, blowing up airplanes, or is this just a sort of a feeling that they might do something, but there's no sense of what or when?
Yeah, my understanding is that the belief is that Iran has made the decision that it would consider making attacks in the United States. I'm not aware of any specific attacks they have in mind, but I think we would have to look upon the standard type of terrorist attacks, attacking mass transit, which would be primarily subways, commuter lines, shopping centers, icons, buildings that have symbolic value to the United States. So, again, the fact that they're willing to kill the Saudi ambassador, try to kill the Saudi ambassador, and blow up an American restaurant where you could have had hundreds of Americans there shows that they are willing to cross that line.
I'm just curious, does it, though? I mean, so much of these situations seem to be rhetoric, and you can talk yourself into a frenzy and then all of a sudden end up in a war. Are you worried that that might be what's happening here? I mean, certainly Iran would know if they did that, the repercussions would be absolutely horrendous for the country of Iran.
Yeah, and that's why we believed up till now that Iran would not try that. But the fact is they were willing to attempt it with the Saudi ambassador. And as far as it getting out of control, I certainly don't think that people like General Petraeus or General Clapper, remember, this is the Obama administration, so I have no reason to be defending them from a partisan perspective. But I strongly believe that people such as General Clapper, General Petraeus, FBI Director Mueller, they would not be put into any kind of a frenzy. They will act very logically and rationally.
There's also a leaked NATO report today that I wanted to ask you about, sir, saying Pakistan has been helping the Taliban kill American troops. Obviously, this comes on the heels of the United States saying that there are members of the Pakistani government who have been assisting the Taliban for quite some time. But this is a very explicit thing, helping to kill American troops. Should we end the relationship with Pakistan? Is it really something that the United States must stick with?
Well, first of all, I think the report is not a conclusion. What it does is it states what apparently has been learned from interviews and interrogations. So it may be accurate or may not be, but let's assume that it is. I think there has been really a marked decline over the last 18 months to 2 years in our relationship with Pakistan, especially the ISI. And the ISI,
their intelligence services, yeah,
right. We had thought under General Kayani originally that was being cleaned out, that he was attempting to root out Islamists. Instead, it seems that it's filled with Islamists. And so we have to assume right now, that, not assume, we know that Pakistan in a number of ways is working against us. As far as severing the relationship, it's still, to some extent, an important relationship. They are a nuclear power. It does provide us the opportunity to go after the Taliban, but it's a very mixed blessing. And I would say in the past, it was 70-30 in our favor. For the last year or so, I would say it's 40 or 60 against us. And we're going to have to keep putting pressure on Pakistan and ultimately make the decision whether or not it's a relationship worth keeping.
All right, Congressman King, thank you very much, as always. Appreciate your being with us.
Erin, thank you. It's always great. Thank you very
As
much.
a side to you viewers, is one thing that surprised me in Karachi, meeting with some young, ambitious men, that they said it wasn't worth staying in Pakistan anymore, that they would want to leave. So the people who can most change it, not wanting